Hi guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Please excuse my scruffy look. It's because I was doing something and it was exciting. I thought, let me share with you guys what I'm doing. So I'm preparing for my payday. I think someone in the comment has asked me how is your payday routine looks like, and that's what I was going through. And I thought to just sit here and just record and share with you guys what my journey looks like. Okay, I will simplify it. This video won't be long, I hope. And the reason why I got motivated to do it is because I saw a video from Jennifer, I think Jennifer Ngumalo, if I'm not mistaken, and she was doing a payday routine, and I thought this is very insightful, so I can share my journey. If there's anything that you guys can learn, you can so matter do it. Okay, it's always nice to be transparent, and then that's the best way in which people can learn, right? Okay, so my name is Zwanda. I don't know if I told you that. Zwanda is my name, Zwanda Rasiweda, and in this channel we talk about all things personal finance, understanding all the financial investment vehicles that are out there, making sure that we rightfully use them towards our goals and ultimately achieve that financial freedom. Guys, I love this. I love it. I could say that all day long. Anyway, I just also wanted to say thank you guys for subscribing, liking, and commenting. I'm seeing you guys. I'm seeing your support. I've just reached 6,000 subscribers. That is not a child's play. It's all 6,000 people, and I value you guys. So again, if you feel like this is something that the content that I share in this channel is of value, please make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, so let's get into the topic of the day. So the topic of the day, like I said, would be my payday routine. Okay, so my payday routine starts when I get my pay slip, right? So it's normally the day before or 2 days before the payday that I get my pay slip, and then it's a wake-up call for me to start actioning some of the things which I need to get ready. Okay, so these also include this, right? This book here. This is a print out of my past 12-month statements. I actually prefer to print out my statements because it's easier to see and it's easier to track and navigate and write on them and actually make comments on them. So I print out every month, most of the months. The reason why I do that is so that on that prepaid day I can actually look into things and see what needs adjusting and recreate my budget or reassess my budget. All right, so in the next coming month a lot is going to be changing, and this is simply because the project that I was working on that required a lot of me and a lot of my personal money has settled and is able to finance itself. So therefore now I can refocus. I can go back to how I used to manage things, how I used to save, and how I used to invest. I'm sure you guys have noticed that I haven't been posting anything on Easy Equities is because I have not been depositing, right? So, and then I'm gonna go back to that. I'm excited about that. So a lot of things are going to go back to my normal, and I'm excited about that, and hence I'm sharing, right? So let's start with the preparations. So like I was saying, it's statements, saying, categorizing expenses, right? I go through my expenses and I see, okay, this is the bond, this is the car, this is the rates. Most of the time I normally have them written down, and then if there's any changes, oh guys, I use paper. I use this book. I use this book to write down, and it's like 2023. If you see here, it's written 2023. Oh, my handwriting is so bad. It's written 2023, so it's everything 2023. Most of the time I normally have my budget written down. So what I do when I see things on the statements, especially irregularities, is just to add or adjust, right? I make the adjustment on the side. Okay, so I just make the adjustment if there's any. Okay, so that's the preparations part of things, right? So highlighting fixed expenses. These are expenses that I actually make sure that they get debited because I know them. I know they're going to happen, and most of them is contracted stuff, right? I don't want to decide on when should I send money to Standard Bank for my bond. No. I want them to take their money as fast as possible, right? So I prefer all the debit order to go off during payday. Okay, so then on the prepaid day, I actually write those things down, check if there was irregularities, if I had spent more on groceries and miscellaneous stuff. I check that and make the adjustment on the budget. When payday comes, as debit orders are going off, I'm ticking on the side of the list, right? So that I get to see what is it that has not been deducted. Because sometimes, you can think that, oh, payday is over, so everyone has deducted all their money, and then you start spending all the remaining funds. There's someone who just haven't, and I don't know why they do that, guys, because it's not nice. Okay, if I say deduct your money on the 25th, deduct your money on the 25th, or at least send me an email or an SMS and tell me you're not gonna be doing that, because really it's inconveniencing. So I prefer people to deduct their money as fast as possible. I love Standard Bank. It doesn't miss. They take their money as soon as it's in, and I love that, right? And then I make the tick on the side of my list, make the ticks. I have 2 debit orders which do not go off on the 25th. They go off month end. So I take that money and I put it aside on a separate account, because I don't want the distraction of thinking I have a lot of money. So I take that money and I put it aside, waiting for the 31st, so that it gets deducted later on. So before the 31st, I take it back, so that the account, the owner can deduct their man. Okay, so that's what I do. So one thing that I want to mention when it comes to my bond is that I pay extra 2,000 rand on my bond, and I've been doing that ever since I have a bond. Sorry, I'm talking about my primary residence. Sorry about that. And the reason why I do that is because I want to at least have one paid off property, because really you never know, guys. For security purposes, I just want to have a house that is paid off, and that's the reason why I'm doing that. But also I found that it's helpful when it comes to interest rate hikes. I also have variable interest rate, meaning that every time the repo rate increases, my rates are also affected. And because I've been paying more, I've never had to adjust an amount on my bond, because it's been the same ever since I had the house, because of the extra 2,000 rand. And even if I don't, let's say there's a lot of money in there, because it's a what do you call that? It is an access bond. It's an access bond. So it's an access bond. There's a lot of money in there. I've been not depositing. It gets deducted with the actual bond, right? And I have not withdrawn it before, because I am just giving myself the buffer, and I want to pay up faster, and I want to pay lesser interest rate. So that's the reason why I do that, right? I used to do the same with my car. I used to pay extra 1,000 rand. I've since canceled that, and this is simply because I've noticed that, I don't know if you guys know this, but in the first half of your loan, especially for a car and a house, I'm sure it's in all loans, but for a car and a house, I know for sure, most of your money that you're paying towards the repayment of the loan goes towards the interest rates, right? And then you'll be surprised when the loan value is not decreasing. It's because most of the money goes towards repayment of the interest rate, and only on the second leg of the period of repayment will the larger chunk of the money goes towards repaying the actual loan, right? So now I noticed that most of my money now on the car loan is going towards a repayment of the loan. So I start seeing what it's reducing, and I'm always tempted to pay it up and finish. But we have things to do with the money, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait it up. And then I realized that I can reallocate that 1,000 rand to somewhere else, right? And one thing that I like about ABSA is that it will ask you if you want the money to reduce the number of years, or if you wanted to reduce the amount of the installment. Okay, so they ask you that. So that's things which I do. And I wanted to also talk about savings, right? Sorry about that, guys. So I had stopped saving. I stopped saving because I had so many things moving that required my money. So I stopped. And you guys might have noticed that I haven't been speaking on easy equities lately, and I'm excited to be planning on going back. This is because I will be starting to my journey to save again. And like I said, my project has settled and now I can save, right? So I'm planning on getting to maximize my tax-free savings account, which I started doing, I think 3 years ago. Yes, 3 years ago. So maximizing a tax-free savings account requires 36,000 per year, and it's 500,000 in a lifetime. So if I started 3 years ago, that means I have 10 years to go to reach the maximum contribution. Unfortunately, last year I was only able to deposit 26,000, so I was 10,000 short. I had so many things that needed my money, I was not able to maximize it. But this year I should, and I'm going to be starting in the month of May. So month of May is very special. You guys, I love money management. So yes, and then I'm hoping to be telling you guys what ETFs I'll be buying on my tax-free savings account, so that you get to see the journey with me again. Okay, that is part of what I like about this channel, sharing with you guys what I'm actually doing, what I'm buying, what I'm selling, if I'm having a loss or if I'm having a profit on my holdings, right? Again, I don't sell my ETFs, I just buy more, because the goal is actually to just maximize that 36,000 annually. For some of you who do not know, a tax-free savings account is an account that allows you to invest and get dividends and capital gains without getting taxed on your income. If you know, for some of you who do not know, sorry about that, if you invest on shares, you get flat discount of 20% on dividends, right? However, if you invest on tax-free savings account, you don't get to pay that. So at least this account helps us to do the investment without the pain of paying SARS. We're already paying SARS too much. Okay, so that is it about investing. And yeah, and I'll be doing exploration in terms of preparing for another big project. So I'll start saving a bigger chunk of my income towards that preparations. And yeah, I'll tell you when it has matured enough. Okay, so, and then groceries, right? Groceries, one of the things which I do with groceries is that I write the list of my groceries throughout the month. This is something that I started doing this year because I realized that when something is missing during the month, and then I run to the shop and I buy it, and I continuously do that because, oh, I want to eat this. It's not here. Let me go buy. I tend out to have maybe 500 Rand extra on my groceries of things which I bought during the month after the day which I bought the grocery. And that's not nice, because the grocery that I bought during month end, because I buy groceries one day after my payday, after the deductions have happened. Okay, so I realized that, okay, if I'm buying extra on things which I didn't write during payday when I was going to buy my grocery or preparing to buy my grocery, that means I have groceries. It's just a matter of whether I like it or I don't, right? So writing, if I think of something and it's not in the house, but there's something which I can eat, I actually write it down. I'm trying to teach myself the discipline of not feeling like I need to satisfy any of my cravings. So I write it down. I have the list right now of the things that I thought about. Oh, sorry, the list is very dirty, but it's because it's in the kitchen. It's mainly in the kitchen. So I write everything that I think of while I'm cooking or while I'm preparing food that is not in the house. This is to help me during the day of preparation for my grocery for the next coming month. I include these things, right? So that I can have a realistic view of my groceries. And I want to say that, guys, I used to actually buy groceries of about 1,000, 1,200 before. And this is without non-perishable goods, because I buy those in bulk. And it is also without cosmetics. So this is like purely food mainly. Okay. And now I think it's going to like 1.5 or so, and I'm so surprised, because it's not that I've changed my ways of doing things. It's just that things are now expensive, right? Another thing that I want to highlight, which is a problem when it comes to my budget, is fuel. Fuel has drastically escalated, guys. Like, I'm always surprised at the counting the counting that keeps on going up. Like, it's so frustrating because now I think my full tank now is like about 1,000 or so. If I remember back in the days when I just bought my car, I think my car used to be like 700, like full tank. Now where must I get the extra 300? So also I put the money for fuel on a separate account just to make sure that at least throughout the month I know I can maintain traveling. One of the things which is painful for me is actually going home, something that's going to happen in the long weekend. So I need to account for that on my budget. Like I said, my budget is already written down. Only when I do statement review do I make the adjustment. And also other things that comes in, it's all this irregularities such as going home that I need to account for. Back in the days, I used to have what is called a sinking fund. It's where you put money that you can use for things like going home, things like your birthday. I don't have that anymore. What I do is I use my influencer money to sustain that life, the going out, the going home, the anything fun. I use my influencer money, the speakers money, campaign money, etc. Right. So where were we? I was talking about fuel. Yes, fuel. So fuel price has gone up, and that worries me. And I think I have covered all of the things that I wanted to tell you guys. Otherwise, please guys join me on the no spend. This I should have said it a long time ago. I am doing a no spend month challenge in the month of May. I'm excited about this because I want to see where it will take me. So no spend month is a month where you just buy groceries and you buy things which you have planned for before payday. After payday, you don't buy anything extra. So I'm not going to be going to restaurants. Whose birthday is in May? Unless if I already know and I have allocated money for it. But however, I'm going to allocate pocket money for myself, right? And it's gonna be very low because the goal is not to spend most of the days within the month without spending. And this simply means that all the spending should be associated with a plan, which is why I had to print out the statements, which is why I had to rewrite my budget, which is why a lot of things are changing, is because I wanted to start the month of May with a bang. I hope you guys are going to join me. If you're joining, let me know in the comment section. Just say no May if you're not joining and say May if you're joining. Okay, cheers guys.